Hello, I'm amirdynast.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, amirdynast. I'm out.
Guys, first off, I want to apologize about being tardy. I had some stuff come up that I had to take care of. But it's all taken care of now. So we are live. We are now live. So we were supposed to go live around 5 o'clock, but we just had some delays. I was handling some business with some of my other ventures that I'm working on, and then I got a couple phone calls that I had to take. But we are now live. amirdynast, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining. If you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, again, if you have not bought the documentary, thank you, and shout out to I'm on my Mac. This isn't my PC, so I can't scroll. All right, it's not touchscreen. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm trying to figure this thing out. Need this episode. Okay. We got you. Okay. We appreciate you. Thank you. Need this episode. Thank you for the flexed up. Thank you for the $9.99 holla. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the $9.99 holla. We appreciate you. J.R. Meadows, your Bulldogs was the truth. And listen, we are going to run it back next year. All right. 3 in a row. Again, 3 in a row. Again, we are going to, I got a documentary. If you ain't got it yet, do yourself a favor. Mark Young Jr., thank you so much for buying a documentary. We are going to run it back next year, three-peat at University of Georgia. You heard it here first. You heard it right here on Search for Uhuru. We are going to run it back, national championships, 3 in a row, three-peat, triple-peat. We got it. Don't worry, Dynasty. I'm going to get your documentary. Guys, buy the documentary, okay? Buy the documentary. Search for searchforuhuru.com. Go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. What about them HBCUs? I don't know. I can't tell you about the HBCUs. It's just, guys, we got to be honest. We got to have an honest conversation with ourselves, okay? As a community, we're not going to support the HBCUs the way they need to be supported. Okay, it's just we're not. Let's just be honest with ourselves. We're not. We are not going to support the HBCUs. The HBCUs are not going to get the support from the community, the support that they need to compete with the WPs. Is that how you say the white institutions, WPs out? What's the acronym? Yeah, the PWIs. I'm sorry, PW. I said WP. PWIs. It's just the reality. We're not going to put in the resources, and we're not going to contribute and build the HBCUs where to the point where where 5-star and 4-star athletes as a whole are going to want to go and play for HBCUs. Now you had the Dion phenomenon, but Dion is gone. And if you listen to Dion's side of the story, I can't blame the guy. I can't blame the guy. And I'm here in Atlanta. I don't stay far from Morehouse and Spelman. And they redid the Morehouse track. All right, they redid the Morehouse track. Now, Morehouse's stadium is still on the level of elementary school stadium or junior high stadium. And when I bring that up, the argument is, well, Dynas, we're not here for sports. We're here to learn. All right, we're here to be Morehouse men. We could care less about athletics. We're here to be Morehouse men. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So when you have attitudes like that, why would any 5-star blue chip high school athlete want to go to an HBCU? When the attitude is like, we don't care about sports, which we show, which we've proven. The only time outside of Dion, what he did at Jackson State, because he was the attraction, the only time Black folks really support their HBCU university, the alma mater, is during homecoming. That's it. During homecoming. The only time. During homecoming. That's it. Outside of that, they're not going to no HBCU games. But before they redid the Morehouse football stadium and track stadium, that facility was an embarrassment, an absolute eyesore and an embarrassment. And the excuse was, Dynas, it ain't about the sports. It's about the education. So I said, okay. So yeah, just to be brutally honest, we're not going to support our institutions at the level that they need to be supported, where we could get athletes to go to these schools and not go to PWI. It just ain't going to happen. So we got to move on. So with that being said, go Dogs, go University of Georgia. We running it back. All right. And that's my alma mater too. I went to UGA, played football and ran track there. So it's what it is. And I was team HBCU. We got to get these Black athletes, these Black blue chip athletes to these HBCUs. But at the end of the day, everyone, Black folks chose integration. All right, we chose integration. We decided to integrate into America, or white America, whatever you want to call it. Integrate into whiteness, as they say. So that's just the reality. So don't let these folks shame you if you enjoy watching PWI football, okay? Don't let them shame you. All right, you go to your Georgia games, you go to your Florida games, you go to your USC games, you go to your University of Texas games, okay? Go and enjoy some football. Don't let these folks shame you. But it is what it is. And we're past that point. There's some things that just won't be undone and can't. There's some things that just won't be undone, okay? And this fight, let's get these 5-star, 4-star athletes to commit and go to HBCUs. That ship has sailed. In my honest opinion, that ship has sailed. It's what it is. I can tell you right now, my son, Mansa Amir, if he had to choose between Georgia, LSU, Florida, USC, Ohio State, or Howard, or Mississippi Valley State, he's going to Georgia, LSU, or Ohio State over Mississippi Valley State, or even Jackson State, or Texas Southern, or Prairie View, or Southern. But listen, I do support HBCUs. I'll rock the hell out of the HBCU gear. Again, I rock the hell out of the HBCU gear. HBCUs can invest in soccer. Yeah, well, Howard back in the day had like the #1 soccer team in America. In fact, you know what? You make a great point. Reality, you make a great point, Reality. Instead of focusing on football, how about these HBCUs focus on soccer and get all these international kids from Africa, the Caribbean, to go to their schools, play soccer, put them on scholarship. That's a good idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Focus on soccer. Because Howard had the best soccer team. They won like the national championship back in like the 70s or early 80s. No, you know what? I'm gonna allow my son to make his own choice. But me personally, if he asked me, Daddy, should I go to Mississippi Valley State or LSU? I'm gonna tell him to go to LSU. Also, tours. Listen, tours family, we are rolling Senegal, Sierra Leone, oh, I gotta present first. I'm tripping. Senegal, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Zanzibar. Come and join us. Again, come and join us for a trip of a lifetime. Come and enjoy the African continent. So let's start off with Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, April 18th through the 29th, come and join us. April 18th through the 29th, come and join us in Sierra Leone. We're going to have a great time. Again, we are going to have a great time. Come and join us. I was talking to one of my sources today. They have not officially announced the citizenship ceremony, but there's going to be a ceremony. Again, they have not officially announced the citizenship ceremony, but there's going to be a ceremony. So if you're eligible, hit me up. Again, it has not been officially announced, but is going to happen. Again, it has not been officially announced, but it's going to happen. I was talking to somebody today. All right. So if you're eligible for citizenship, hit me up. Go to Donful.Africa. And if you just want to roll and visit the beautiful country of Sierra Leone, go to Donful.Africa and hit me up. Then we got Senegal for the Jazz Festival. Senegal for the Jazz Festival, May 21st to the 30th. Hit me up if you want to come and join us at Senegal for the Jazz Festival. And then we got Nigeria for the Osun Festival. Nigeria for the Osun Festival, August 6th to the 15th. Come and join us in Nigeria for the Osun Festival. Then we roll into Zanzibar. Okay, we're rolling to Zanzibar, November 12th to the 21st. Come and join us in Zanzibar. Shout out to Amani. Thank you. I appreciate you, sister. I appreciate you. Come and join us in Zanzibar. Would love to have you in Zanzibar. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. The issue I have with the Africa ain't reached out to us argument. Okay. If you guys notice the thumbnail, there was a girl, young lady, beautiful young lady, who was in Paris taking a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. And so when I see our people complain about how Africa's not reaching out to us, why didn't Africa send the slaves, send the boats, the rescue boats to save us? What else? What else? What else have I heard? Why they ain't rolling out the red carpet? My response is, you guys ain't got no problem going to Paris, the UK, now Thailand, Mexico, Puerto Rico, China, Japan, Greece, with all the city in Greece with all the white buildings. Again, the city in Greece with all the white buildings. Yeah, I ain't got no problem going to these countries. And I know damn well there's not been a camp, Portugal, Spain, Italy. I know damn well there has not been any type of policy or anything formal that these countries have released saying they want to engage the Black diaspora and they want the Black diaspora specifically to come visit their countries. I know there's not, but you guys go and visit these countries all the time. But for some reason, when it comes, there's no engagement policy. No, they've never formally engaged the diaspora to come and visit. Or am I wrong? Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? Did I miss something? Did Greece and Italy and France and Thailand, Mexico, did they reach out to the diaspora, the Black diaspora, and say, hey, we want to engage you guys. We want you guys to come specifically and visit our countries. We'll love to have you guys. Did I miss something? Did that happen? Did that happen? I'm asking, did that happen? But for some reason, when it comes to Africa, they ain't reach out to us. They ain't doing this. They not doing automatic citizenship. So I can't come. I can't come, Dynast. They ain't reached out to us. But I could be wrong. I might have missed the meeting. I probably wasn't privy to the meeting where France reached out to the Black diaspora and said, hey, come visit our country. I might have missed out on that. Am I missing something? So that's today's conversation. That's what we're going to talk about. Also, I want to throw in, we're still using, and we watched the segment, I think it was the day before, Black people traveling to Africa and being extra petty, being overly too critical, complaining about every little thing when they go. But it's 10 times worse in their own communities, and it's 10 times worse in these other countries, non-African countries that they travel to. So anyways, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to open up the lines. You can call in. You can add to the conversation. We got to pay some bills. So we got a word from our sponsors. We'll put the link in the chat room. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. So let's take a commercial break.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Hi guys, I'm Jay Dior, intuitive reader and spiritual advisor. If you are someone who has been looking for more clarity or guidance on some of the issues that you have been experiencing in your life, then you can head to my website, bougievoodoo.com, where you can check out my reviews, or you can go ahead and book a session now. Also, check out my boutique, J. Dior Beauty, where I sell everything from luxury virgin hair and wigs to high-quality sport bikinis and swimwear. There is free shipping on all orders over $100, or you can use promo code YouTube for an extra 10% off. Scan the QR code to check out the site now.
Hey you guys, it is your girl Alexis Fowler coming to you with a special sale of 40% off all of my services when you use promo code VIP40 at alexisfowler.com. As a brand designer and consultant, I provide services like digital art, logo designs, packaging designs, web designs, social media flyers, and much more. If you're an entrepreneur with a business or a startup company and you need help with branding and graphic design, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity with 40% off using promo code VIP40 to get 40% off on all my services at alexisfowler.com.
And guys, shout out to Hustle Smart. Make sure you guys go to the Simp Police Academy. Let me put the link in the chat room. Go subscribe to our brother Hustle Smart at the Simp Police Academy, you guys. And also, link is in the chat room if you want to call in. If you want to call in and add to the conversation. Oh, hold on. I misspelled Academy. Hold on. Don't judge me. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. So if you guys want to call in and add to the conversation, guys, go follow and subscribe to our brother Hustle Smart at the Simp Police Academy. And shout out to Brandon too, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Go and subscribe to him as well. All right, guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat room again. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in. Again, link is being dropped in the chat room right now. Call in, add to the conversation, speak your piece. Also hit the like button. Okay, please hit that like button. Please hit the like button. Yeah, stop, man. Listen, let Brandon speak his piece. Let Brandon speak his piece, okay? Y'all leave Brandon alone. Let that brother speak his piece. So links in the chat room if you want to call in, add to the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation, you guys, and hit the like. But shout out to Naturally Shy. Okay. Someone enslaved FBA, who I think was Islamic, got support from Morocco. The Sultan of Morocco demanded his release. Yeah, I know he wasn't FBA though. He was Moroccan. He was a prince. No, actually, he wasn't even Moroccan. He was a prince or a king who happened to be a Muslim. He was a Muslim prince, a Muslim king from West Africa. Oh, here comes. Hold on, y'all. See, Lumumba, I can't play the video because when I play the video, I get a copyright violation. But I will play the video, Lumumba, of when y'all took that L, okay? Of when y'all took the L and your kicker, all right, was all nervous and shit. All right, he missed the field goal. All right, I will play it. I can't play it because I keep getting a strike. but I will play the video, Lumumba. All right, so listen, you just take your L. Listen, Lumumba called into the show, right? At the gym, you know, a little extra medium tank top on, talking trash. Oh, here he come. Here he come. Here he come. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me hear the excuses. Go ahead. Let me hear the excuses. Let me hear the excuses.
Ain't no excuses. All I'm saying is bet it right back. Bet it right back, though. Bet it right back. You know what I'm saying? Double up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you the big dog out here, so double up. You know what I mean? Double up. That's all I'm saying. Bet it right back.
Did you watch the Georgia TCU game? You watched the game. I know you watched the game. You watched it.
But listen, hey, my mans. All I'm saying is bet it right back, B. You know what I mean? You the boss hog out here. You know what I'm saying? You talking greasy. You talking like you gully. Bet it right back. You know what I mean? Hey, I was a man of my word. Listen, I lost. We lost. I paid up. I was a man of my word. We lost. I paid you the money. So bet it right back, B. Bet it right back. Double up. Double up.
So what's the bet? Okay, so the bet is y'all ain't going to the national championship, but we
the bet. I told you what the bet was. The bet was that y'all won't 3-peat.
So, but what's the bet for y'all though?
Listen, you trying to move the goalposts, B. You trying to move the goalposts.
What's the bet for y'all?
The bet was that you all won't 3-peat.
The original bet was that who was going to win between Georgia and Ohio State, and we won. And y'all watched us play on Monday from the house. Y'all was at the house or at the bar.
Keep talking record, man. Keep talking record.
So the bet needs to be that we'll make. Okay, here we go. Here's the bet: double or nothing. We will make the national championship. Okay, whoever makes the national championship wins the bet. If we play each other national championship, whoever wins the bet.
No. The bet is that you all don't 3-peat.
No, but you got to put some skin in the game for Ohio State.
Hold on. Because like the bet, we made this bet during the regular season. And in the regular season, the bet was Ohio State won't win the Natty. That was the bet from the get-go.
No, it was not. The bet, we didn't make the bet until we didn't make the bet until y'all made to the playoffs.
No, man. You listen.
So you moving the goalpost now.
All right. Maybe I'm wrong.
You wrong.
Right. But
I didn't even know you was an Ohio State fan until maybe like a week before the Michigan game when y'all got blown out.
Now you lying. Now you capping. Now you capping. You know what I mean? You just keep it a buck. But don't do that because I'm in Ohio. You have people coming looking for me. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Because we don't have fans here. We have fanatics. Okay. And I masquerade as one every now and then. But long story short, after the game, I paid. Tell the audience I paid my money. Did I not?
Now you threw a little fit. Well, you didn't even throw a fit. You quickly got off. Like you didn't even say that.
No. I mean, don't put some respect on my name.
I'm gonna tell you what happened.
I don't throw no fit. We lost the game. I paid you money and I went to bed. I didn't say I throw it. I didn't say anything. I paid you money and I went to bed.
Y'all listen. I never seen somebody log off a chat or a live stream so fast after that kicker missed that kick. You didn't even say nothing. You just logged off.
Exactly. I logged off. I cashed out you the money and I went to bed. Yeah. So what we talking about? There was no fit. I went to bed. I was entertaining, and so I went to bed.
Okay, but you got to put some skin in the game as far as Ohio State.
So the original bet was Ohio State wouldn't win the national championship. That was our original bet. And
but
then
we didn't make that bet until late. We didn't make that bet until late.
Hold on. But then the secondary bet was that we wouldn't beat Georgia in the Peach Bowl. And if you want to be honest with your audience, as I know you are, you was over there shook once in the fetal position doing that damn near the entire live. Be honest. Even when you all scored in the fourth quarter, you said, man, I still ain't comfortable because, you know what I mean, we gave CJ Stroud too much time. You was like Chris Rock and damn New Jack City. Come on, just keep it a buck. You were shook. Come help me, please.
Yeah. They found a wire. Come help me. They ain't got it.
So let's keep it a buck there. Now, Now, the original bet was you said Ohio State didn't win the national championship because we texted about this back in October. The second bet was that we wouldn't beat Georgia in the Peach Bowl. So that made it what, double. So I'm asking you, you the man, you money making Mitch, you out here getting your bands, you know what I'm saying? You going to Harlem, you getting at your Pack Boy thing, go find that man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm asking you, hey, double up, bet it right back, double up.
Yeah, but you got Ohio State has to be included in the equation.
Okay, so here's the thing. So here's the bet. The bet is, all right, that the bet would be Ohio State makes it to the Natty. Your bet is that Georgia makes it to the Natty. That's that. So that's the bet. And then the bet on top of that would be if we play each other, who wins?
Bet. We got it.
All right. All I know is I want my money. If I have to come down I-75 and come to Atlanta,
bet.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the bet.
That's the bet.
Because y'all definitely ain't making the national championship. I'm tell you that right now. Y'all
Please, dude, you was holding your breath the whole time. You were saying Hail Marys and everything. Please.
And so what?
Listen, first off, during that game, you became a Catholic. You became Catholic. You were talking about purgatory and everything.
White Jesus answered my prayers. White Jesus answered my prayers.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. That's cool. All I know, and we're gonna keep this a buck, is you were shook. If your viewers could have saw, you were in a fetal position. I mean, the way you looked, it was like how Batman got laid out by Bane after, you know what I'm saying, when he was in prison, talking about where am I home? You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, it was over. You know what I mean? Over. So it's cool. Like, we didn't hang on to the lead, but we were in that ad, no homo the entire game.
Pause.
No, we was in that no homo the entire game. You know this and I know this. Because listen, there was a couple times you could tell your viewing audience when you got up and left the screen, I got to walk away. I can't deal with this right now. I mean, I even got to start speaking in tongues for a moment. I didn't know what it was. It was Gullah Geechee, the Holy Spirit. I didn't know what it was.
But listen, at the end of the day, who are the national champions?
University of Georgia.
There we go. That's all that matters. So
that's
what?
Cool.
So what? I almost had a heart attack and passed out when Ohio State missed.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. I mean, you ain't got to come all on the show acting like you bow to battle or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. You showing up like you the Broad Street bully, but you was quiet as a church mouse during the game. That's all I'm saying.
I was quiet.
Yeah, you was quiet, real quiet. You know what I mean? I don't want to say nothing. You damn near were obsequious in nature. You know what I'm saying? You was even, I think you even called me Dr. Lumumba a couple times. I ain't even got the PhD yet. I'm like, man, my man was really putting some respect on my name. As soon as he missed that field goal, you were up here acting like, you know what I'm saying, you Suge Knight, Nino Brown or something. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I got to show you something real quick. Hold on. I got to show you something real quick. Hold on. Hey, Juanita, thank you for reminding me.
Matter of fact, I mean, you was acting like you was Ron O'Neal. I mean,
here, wait till the one for this year comes in. All right.
Matter of fact, is that the guy? Is that the guy Marvin Harrison was cooking?
It don't matter.
Oh, okay. Was that the guy with chop stew? Is that the guy that we souffled?
It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
That guy. Oh, he didn't look like. I'll tell you what. He didn't look like a first rounder against our guy. He didn't look like a first rounder against our guy.
I get, listen, Georgia alumni here. So I get my magazine delivered straight to
He didn't look like a first rounder. I know that much.
Listen, wait till the next one. Wait till the one with the TCU when we running over TCU. Wait till that comes in. Wait till it comes in. Wait till.
Man, they don't worry about no tadpoles, man. They easy work. They don't worry about no TCU. It's cute. It's cute. Let me ask you this. Did y'all win the Natty when you was on the field? Is it yes or no? Did you all win the Natty when you was on the field?
We won 2 SEC championships.
I didn't ask you about a conference championship. I said, did you win the Natty when you was on the field?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's get to the scheduled topic. Let's get to the scheduled topic.
Patty Lumumba. That's your new name, Patty Lumumba. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead. Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
Okay, dog pound in the crown. Okay, so when I saw the topic, it reminded me of when they love to say, well, the Republicans don't talk to us, don't approach us. So they keep voting for the same people no matter how bad things get. So when they're talking about why Africa is not reaching out, it's almost like you're saying you want to get married, but nobody's going to propose to you because you're sitting in the house, you're going nowhere, you're not being seen, you're not dressing like you want to be your wife, and things like that. But then why is nobody not asking me to get married? So a lot of times we got to just grow up. If we want to reach out and do our homework, do our due diligence, get with people that's going, ask questions, we can do that. But sit back and make the excuse of why Africa is not reaching out. When you can get a passport, you can go there just like you go to Mexico, Colombia, Dominican Republic, everywhere you want to, France. They didn't reach out to you either, other than advertisement. They didn't personally reach out to you to go to all these places, Canada and stuff. Those are just advertisement. Other people went. So why is it that you got to make Africa special to reach out to you, even when you don't plan on collaborating with them anyway?
Because we hold for some reason we hold our people to a different standard than we do everybody else.
Well, we hoping Africa will reach out so they can do a handout. That's really what the bottom line to that is.
Repeat that again.
You want Africa to reach out so they can give a handout.
I think that's a great point. Brother. Great point.
I've heard a lot of shows where they're asking, is there any government assistance? Is there this? Is there that? What kind of jobs can I get? So they want Africa to reach out so they can offer a handout. Because remember, that's all the Republicans do, symbolism and some government stuff to keep you locked into their power base. And they always say, well, Republicans don't reach out to us. That's what that reminds me of. It's an excuse for not doing your homework and moving forward for your collective people. That's really what that is. So if Africa's not handing you Section 8, food stamps, free housing, whatever that is, then they're not reaching out to you really. But they always been reaching out to us in many ways. That's just a fact.
Go ahead, Bree. Go ahead, Bree.
Oh, hi. Yeah, I just wanted to call in. Thank you again, Dinus, for, having these topics. I feel like I'm becoming regular here. But I think I made a comment earlier that it's all about trendiness and proximity to whiteness, honestly. I know as a younger person in this conversation, a lot of my friends, the places we wanted to go was like what was popping on Instagram, what was popping online, right? And we didn't start coming to the realization of like, hey, maybe we should go to Africa, go discover our roots until we had some type of like, I want to say transformative mind. We transformed our thinking a little bit from like being childish and just wanting to be seen. And now we more so want to look into our souls and where we came from. So Africa doesn't need to really pander to us because I think it's for us as Americans to find, as Black Americans to find, right? Africa has its own people who they, students go from all over the world from Africa to different locations that a lot can be said about how they treat their own, but they're looking out for their own. We technically are American citizens. So just like France and those other places aren't really necessarily saying, hey, come Black people, they'll take our money, but they're not advertising to us. I think it just takes the mentality that, you want it and you have to want to go there, And I think that also makes it better. It makes it more of a gem because when all these places get polluted, like I think the other day we talked about Tulum, Africa is still kind of sacred and new to a lot of us.
Bree, you went to Tulum, did you?
No, I did not. Thank God. Because right when I was about to go, it was way too crazy.
Now, what happened? Expensive or just?
Not even expensive. The stuff I was seeing online, it was just like, people were just going there and doing ridiculous stuff. That's not what I wanted to be associated with. I was looking to go and have a relaxing, mini paradise type of feel. And then by the time I got together and said, hey, maybe I should go here, it was already like overdone. So didn't go.
Professor Lumumba, you want to add to this? Ohio State. We know you guys took an L, which is okay. But you want to add to this, Professor Lumumba? Yeah, he's probably somewhere having nightmares about the game. But guys, listen, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation. Guys, we want to give a special shout out to Brother Fitzgerald Stevens, Find Ways to Win. We want to give a special shout out to Brother Fitzgerald Stevens, Find Ways to Win. Link is in the chat room.
Dynast, haven't some African countries started, like, as you say, you always talk about Sierra Leone and Ghana. Haven't they started offering little incentives for us to come anyway, though?
Well, I mean, Ghana I think this is their third group or second group of African Americans who gotten their passports. So it's starting to happen. Go ahead, Lumumba.
Yeah, so I think this is a rather interesting topic. I think there's a couple of issues, right? We're talking about the problem with the Africa hasn't reached out to us, right? I think this conversation is being held in a manner that's adjacent to the FBA conversation. Yes, am I correct with that? Okay, very good. So we hear a lot of people argue they're not offering tangibles. I would agree with the brother who said, they're looking for a handout. They want them to reach out so they can receive a handout. But our tangibles are being offered, right? When you're being offered citizenship and the ability to actually own land, that's a tangible, right? But I think the real issue is we're looking at internalized self-hatred, anti-African self-hatred. We know that Malcolm X gave a speech long ago when he stated that you can't hate the roots of a tree, not hate the tree itself. So if you can't hate your origin, you can't hate where you come from. Yes, but the wisdom never sleeps, and never hate yourself. So I think a lot of this is rooted in the fact that individuals do not want to identify themselves with Africa, because then they would have to accept the fact that they are what African, right? The sister stated that we are in name American citizens, but we know the reality is what Dr. Martin Delany taught us. We know Martin Delany is the father of Black nationalism. He taught us that we are what denizens in America, not actually citizens, meaning that we're living in this country based on privilege, be a privilege, not right. So I think that's something to really understand. I try to stay away from those type of individuals who promote these type of this idea of what I would like to call militant integrationism, right? In which they're literally seeking to gain proximity to whites and whiteness. And that concept of whiteness is rooted in what it means to be an American. For example, and I will shut up, I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but one of my students, she plays for the university I work for, the basketball team. So I went to support her along with her parents. They played the national anthem. Guess who didn't stand up? Not because it's not in vogue, right? I even served in the military and I don't stand for the national anthem, right? The only time I ever stood was when I was in uniform because I had to. It was part of the job, right? So I think a lot of this is rooted in what this concept, once again, as Sister stated, trying to be in close proximity to American, not only whiteness, but also this concept of what it means to be American. So, and in doing so, they're seeking to deny the African side of their identity.
But I want to, if I can just interject, for a lot of people, that's all they've known is America, right? We have essentially lost a lot of our connection to Africa, being so removed. And so it's a rediscovery that's happening. And I'm not going to say it has recently just happening, because people have been trying to popping for years, but we are. And essentially, even me, my parents are from the Caribbean, but I grew up here. I don't know anything about Jamaica. I've honestly never even been there, which is terrible. So where can I say I'm from? I can say I'm of Jamaican descent, yes, but I'm American. So
if I could speak to that, if I could, sister.
Sure.
Don't mean to cut you off, but there's a couple of issues. One, Dr. John Hope Franklin is one of the progenitors of actually teaching African American studies in higher education, right? He started the practice of anytime you would study or open an African American history book, particularly at the university or college level, it began with a background on Africa, right? That's number one. Second, the concept and idea, the belief that has been disseminated for decades, generations, that we've been completely cut off from our African ties, origins, beliefs, is not true. There's been a litany of texts starting all the way back in the 1930s with Melville Huskovitz's book, Myth of the Negro Past, that highlights and delineates numerous dozens of African culture practices in African American and Afro-Caribbean culture. Right, so this concept of idea that we completely are shut off from our native culture is not historically accurate. The third issue I will point out is if someone is disconnected from their origin. Now we know as African Americans we take on maybe really a Pan-African identity of Africa in terms of we can't go to a particular nation, state, or village or city, but we look at Africa as a whole, particularly West and Central Africa. Those are the places that were most affected by the slave trade. The issue is, if someone is rejecting or turning away from Africa, it's by choice. It's not because of a lack of knowledge. I mean, you could Wikipedia nowadays and learn a lot about our African origin and identity. So I would argue once again that it's rooted in, of course, self-hatred and wanting to seek what acceptance and proximity, of course, with whites and whiteness.
And this is what I want to add. I would like to challenge every FBA or what's the other group with
ADOS.
ADOS that love to say their bones are buried here and all that stuff. Go to African Ancestry and let's challenge them to go to African Ancestry, do their DNA, and find out if they have any lineage to Africa. Because they just speak it out the side of their neck. So if they don't do that, they're not really real. Like it says, self-hatred, don't want to really identify. And then their argument won't be real anyway when they find out how many of them have ancestors in Africa. Regardless of how many of their generations was born and bred and died and buried here, I guarantee you many of them still have a lot of percentage of Africa. They're going to know it. They don't want to know that because that would just decimate their whole argument.
Well, I think what Yvette Cornell once said, that she's more Anglo than she is African. So,
well,
that's because she's taking this DNA, not African DNA. Yeah. If she take African DNA,
that would make sense.
I have a white grandfather too. But my African ancestors said, on my father's side, we're 100% from Gabon, and on my mother's side, 97.7% from Cameroon, even down to the village. So I can easily go to the other ancestry that divides up all this DNA that's down through the slave masters and all that. My thing is this: do you or do you not have any African ancestry? If not, if just go do the DNA there and find out really how far back you go.
Yeah, and it's reminiscent of what Dr. John Henry Clark said, that we want to be everything but African. We even find this in one of the reasons why many of our people won't celebrate Kwanzaa. Why? Because there is an association with Africa. So we see this in a multitude of ways. I think this is a new age, multifaceted form of course, self-hatred, trying to, of course, distance oneself, engage in a pseudo-sophisticated form of self-abnegation from, of course, Africa. I saw it live where a brother, who, of course, was a member of the FBA. And the issue that I found was that even when you're sharing facts, it doesn't matter, right? It just goes to how I feel, so on and so forth. So it's not really, it's nonsensical to even have a conversation. But I think what we have to do is just focus on individuals who are willing to embrace their identity, are willing to, somebody says Kwanzaa is an association with blackening whiteness. I would beg to differ, but please, if you could, I'm not the one, of course, facilitating this live, but I would love for a brother to tap in and share why he thinks that is the case.
No, I mean, he's more than welcome to call in. And
I am someone who, of course, not only celebrates Kwanzaa, but actually have been facilitating Kwanzaa celebrations, teaching Kwanzaa throughout the Midwest. I even hosted the citywide Kwanzaa celebration this past year in Cincinnati. Shout out to the Queen City. So we'd love for you to tap in and share why you think that is the case. I think that may be adjacent to the conversation that we're having. No, but I think this is an issue, of course, that we find in our community. But I think we just have to focus with like-minded people, because we've always had individuals who have sought to have a negative view of Africa and African identity. We see this with Hebrew Israelites. We see this with Moors. We see this when individuals say that they're Native Americans. So this isn't anything new. This is a new age version of what has historically taken place, in our community.
Yeah, I hope I didn't give the impression that I was trying to separate myself from that. I am definitely a person who has African roots. I think in the beginning when I said that myself and people who I associate with, we definitely came to the realization that we weren't being authentic and trying to find where we came from. We're trying to follow the trend of what's white society deems as acceptable. And now at, this certain turning point in life, we want to be closer and connected to the continent. That's what I was saying. I only say that, we're American in the sense that we have been removed from what our original culture was. And yes, the food, the little isms and schisms we may have, the way we talk and dress, those do come from, someplace on the continent. But the fact that we don't know, essentially, the only thing we've grown to know is that we're Americans.
Well, I would like to offer a rebuttal, sister. Just because we can't pinpoint exactly where we're from doesn't mean that we are Americans. The reason why I make this argument is that if we were Americans, there'd have been no need for a 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. If we were actually Americans, there'd have been no need for a Fair Housing Act, a Voting Act, Civil Rights Act. These things were done for people who aren't considered Americans. Americans, white folk, they didn't need any amendments or bills passed or legislation passed to give them the rights that they were supposedly born with, that are enumerated in the Constitution of the United States of America and other foundational preambles. These things were created by people who are not considered Americans. So irrespective if I can delineate the exact place I came from in Africa or not, I know I'm not an American, I'm African. And Malcolm X even said in the Black Muslim movement, one of the things that they found was that, they were actually well connected to the African origins and ties, mores and forays, etc. So I think that we have to understand that irrespective of where we are in the world, irrespective of our knowledge of where we come from, we see with even other ethnic groups around the world, Arabs, Latinos, Jewish people, so on and so forth, irrespective if they can delineate the place they come from or not, they tend to never on a macro level deny who they are and adopt, of course, a identity based on the nationality that they have taken on based on where they were born and raised.
I can definitely agree with that point, especially with the Latinos, whether you're second, third, or fourth generation Mexican American, they still say they're Mexican first. So I'll agree with you on that point for sure. And a lot of the concessions were made because we weren't treated like human beings, period, point blank. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let me read these super. Hey, everyone who super chatted, thank you so much for the super chat. What does ancestry have to do with the hospitable nature of our brothers and sisters of the continent towards us? As ADOS said, they were not a Black ancestry. Connie, go ahead, Connie. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm Nigerian. Yeah, so I waited for this topic because I wanted to be a part of it. Now, you guys are Americans, right? And you see the world like an American, right? I'm an African, and I'm
Nigerian too. To answer your question, I do not see the world as an American.
Okay.
I am an African living in America.
But a lot of y'all see the world as American.
And I would argue that that's due to miseducation and brainwashing through the American media.
Yeah. So that brings me to my point, right? So you see, just the way you guys see all those give a dollar for someone who is hungry. There's no water in this country, and you see horrible pictures. We see those pictures too from Africa. We see those ads too. We watch CNN. Like early 90s, we watched Coming to America. We watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We see you guys, or we saw you guys much more than you guys see us, right? And just the way you feel pity when you see those pictures they show to you, we have some kind of emotion as well, right? When you feel like you relegate yourself, like you feel less than a human, and this is something that's kept happening for a long period of time. So now, how you feel like you're seeing these things, and this is adding to all the other things that have already happened, or been happening, the colonialism, everything, and you're already broken. How do you really think that we would actually remember even trying to reach out? We're feeling like you're not going to want us.
I don't understand the question.
No. The topic here is why didn't Africa reach out to? That's what I understand. Am I wrong?
Well, Dynast, please.
Right. What's your question? What's your question, brother? What's your question?
No. What's the subject that we're discussing?
Well, so you have certain people who have this argument that Africa ain't reached out to us, or haven't reached out to us.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. This is the reason why we didn't reach out all this while. Right? We feel like you guys are not going to accept us. Like, we feel like we have nothing to give, nothing to offer. We feel, the whole world is.
Well, if I could,
that's how we feel. That's how we felt.
The topic, Africa ain't reaching out to us, is a rhetorical question based on individuals that we in this platform believe are politically immature. Right. The second issue is, I think it's dangerous to monolithically categorize an entire group of people, African Americans, Africans, etc. There are many African Americans who have a negative view of Africans, right? But those are individuals who are what? Ignorant, right? So we don't want to make a claim that African Americans view Africans a particular way, and then we're highlighting individuals who are politically immature and miseducated, right? The reality of the situation is, we have been having cross-cultural contact across the Atlantic Ocean for centuries, right? That's why I said that the question, Africa ain't reaching out to us, is a misnomer, right? It's a play on words of a movement of people who are trying to disassociate themselves with Africa. So we are.
Okay, I just thought I should bring this point of view, because as an African who have lived in Africa for very long, and left Africa as an adult. Like, this point of view might be also important for you guys to see. I know you guys, like, I've listened to a lot of you. I'm always on Dynast channel. I've listened to a lot of you speak. I understand the whole slave trade. I've read a little of your history. I feel you, man. But then, as Africans too, we have our own story. We have our own emotions. So I just thought, I'm not saying, or talking down on your point or disagreeing with you. I just came up to just bring another point of view, and I believe in all this. It was when there was social media, there was Afrobeats, there was Nollywood. You could get on Netflix and watch African content, Few people around the world started to see, oh, maybe these people are not these hungry people who don't have water to drink, or that's not all about them. Oh, okay, I like the music, right?
Well, once again, you're making the assumption that the majority of African Americans felt that way before the proliferation of social media.
Because I'm making this assumption because it's coinciding, at the same time. Like, Afrobeat is popping at the same time African Americans are traveling to Ghana or traveling to Africa. It's popping at the same time when you now have African content on Netflix. At the same, why is it happening all at the same time?
Well, I would argue that it's not. I would argue that it's not happening all at the same time, because there have been every generation of African Americans that have seen Africa, repatriated to Africa. So we don't find that this is just something that's coinciding with social media.
Dynast, do you agree? Do you agree, like, to the degree at which African Americans are we're hearing on social media, of course, taking citizenship and how it is right now. Has he ever been like this?
No. Sorry.
Do
I
you
would argue
agree,
yes.
like what the brother just said? What
I would argue.
do you agree to
I would
that?
argue, and there is significant literature to substantiate the claim that I'm making, that African Americans, every generation of African Americans, have sought to and have repatriated to Africa in large numbers. This is nothing new.
Yes, but you're both right. The issue is that technology has made it easier for us to go ahead and reach out and see each other. I can just be walking out from Walmart like I am now, and I can be talking to a brother in Nigeria. This is that's what's happening now. You're seeing an increase in influx because the technology allows us to do this in such an easy and leisurely way.
So, Nulumba, do you disagree when I said the hungry children pictures give $1? Do you disagree to that? And that has no impact on the fact on making African Americans want to actually interact or associate with Africans. Do you disagree to that?
I would argue that African Americans who are uneducated and politically unaware would believe in those images, and then of course turn away from Africa. But as I stated before, there's this. I mean, if you look at the history of Pan-Africanist movements in America, all of these Pan-Africanist movements focus on African origins, African identity, connecting with our brothers and sisters on the continent. We talking about from the Chief Sam movement to the African Nationalist Pioneer movement to Malcolm X's OAAU. I mean, I could go on down the line, right? The Black Liberation Army, so on and so forth. So like I said, like Brother Allen said, we're both right, but the reality situation is African Americans have been turned into Africa, seeking to repatriate Africa, seeking to reconnect with Africa and Africans long before the proliferation of social media.
Let me say this.
Okay.
I
go
heard
ahead.
something originally that Connie said today. He said that the way they watch CNN and other things like that, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a sect of Africans says, what do we have to offer African Americans? We see it look like they have everything they need. So he felt that's one of the reasons a sector never reached out. And so he's going back to say that Americans are being shown the children that's always needing some food and water and things. And that's probably why they're not reaching out just to $1. So what I see is that there's a sect of Africans have the same mindset as a sect of some African Americans. The uneducated one just taking what's on the news, that's feed it to them a narrative, and that's why they're standing back. So we got some African Americans saying, well, why Africa not reaching out to us? Because they feel they need something from Africa. But then we got a sector of Africans, per what he just said, is they see us in a light of prosperity. So what can you offer them or offer African Americans? So they're taking a narrative and what's being shown by way of to keep you separate anyway. And so each one don't reach out except for the ones that goes around and cuts through all that bull crap and know what's happening. As Lamula said, this has been going on a long time. But the more that you have social media and the main media, they're going to try to always show you the negative of Africa while they enriching themselves from Africa.
Come on now, brother. Teach.
And so they get enriched, just like Dinah's always saying. When you fly, there's more Chinese, Indians, white folks, and everything else piling into Africa, and you still sitting back into I ain't going to the jungle. I ain't going to run from them lions and tigers and elephants. And you don't see all the cities. Why? Because they don't want you to see them. They're not going to promote the major metropolitans of Africa because you will be going there spending your money. You'll be going there making connections. You'll be taking your education and talent and indoctrination and everything there to build, because his people look like you will welcome you. And they will change a lot of that colonialism that they have. That's the reason why a lot of these countries have not done the citizenship offer, because it's based on the colonial rules that govern them still in their constitution. Just
so
like
I think that I would say for the French countries, the francophone speaking people, but I think the English speaking countries, they have more liberty, to offer citizenship without intervention from the Europeans. So I don't quite agree to that.
Connie, I think the other two gentlemen who spoke, well, three gentlemen who spoke, they all hit on an important point. When you were talking about the propaganda that we see on TV here about Africa, at a certain point, sorry, I went out. At a certain point, you get educated enough and you realize that, that's not exactly true, and you want to go over there and see it for yourself, and that takes maturity, and a certain level of education. I think it's not exactly true that Americans view Africa as, poverty stricken. Now we have known for a long time there was a lot to offer, which is why Europe and China, as the other gentleman just said, are investing so heavily in it.
Well, as I was trying to say, the technology is definitely made.
Hey, Alan, let me read this super chat real quick. Shout out to Keith Reynolds. Admitting cultural differences is not distancing themselves from Africa. And cultural Igbo and Ewe are both of African descent, yet culturally different. Correct? Can ADOS be different culture and African?
Yeah. I was just going to say the technology, like I said, has educated a lot of people. A lot of people have gone to YouTube University and found out that there are major metropolitan areas in Africa for the first time, and everything's not a safari or a jungle. So, a lot of people are educating themselves in some weird ways and realize, hey, I've been lied to, I've been tricked. And so that is happening actively. And again, to get back to what the brother was saying, that's why you're seeing more of an increase, because now you're seeing having celebrities go to Ghana, so everyone's rushing to Ghana because you actually have Afrocello over there, and people are seeing people having fun on the beach, having a good time, and folks are showing up. So I don't think that's a bad thing at all. It's good for everybody. It's good for us to actually learn something and get an education and figure out, where our origin and where we come from. And it's good for the countries themselves economically to actually have the tourism and the dollars and things like that. So I think it's a win-win that this stuff has been happening recently. The other thing I want to say, back to the original part of the topic, was that I've watched African countries, a few, reach out to African Americans and to Caribbean and people all throughout the diaspora explicitly over the past few years. Nana Addo in Ghana has gone ahead and planned for years for this year of return, and he's reaped the benefits of it. For people to act, and he even went to, I know he went to Barbados, showed up, took the remains of a slave from Barbados with him, and reburied it in Ghana. And made a formal apology for their role in slavery, all kinds of things. You have Sierra Leone with offering citizenship. What more of a reach out do you need? Do you need to reach around? What do you want?
I like that when you said reach around. I like that one. And if I could just tap in very quickly, even back in the 80s, Thomas Sankara, when he was, of course, the 5th president of Burkina Faso, also known as the land of upright men, upright people, when he came and spoke in Harlem at Harriet Tubman Elementary School in Harlem, New York City. He said that for the African Revolutionary, my White House is in Black Harlem. And he told them to never be ashamed of being African. He said that your fight against the residual effects of chattel enslavement, black codes, sharecropping, convict leasing, Jim Crow is the same as our fight against neocolonialism, and stated that we are brothers and sisters in the same struggle. And that if you want to repatriate to Africa, particularly Burkina Faso, you can. So this concept and idea of ain't nobody ever reached around to us is patently false. We know Tanzania had a Pan-Africanist administration, particularly when it was being led by Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, right? Same with Kenya, same with Ethiopia. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie provided land for many Jamaicans and African Americans, right, who were Rastafarians and wanted to repatriate home. Same with the Pan-Africanist government of one Kwame Nkrumah, who we know was the ideological son of one Marcus Garvey. So we know that these arguments that are being made are disingenuous and facetious on their face, but it's really, in my idea, being led to create confusion. And that's a strong, powerful sister stated. I'm gonna say powerful sister rather than strong. Powerful sister stated is really about trying to once again become closer to whiteness and what they believe to be white power, and that is, of course, America.
Can I add on to that really quickly before I go? When you hear people like Yvette Cornell out here talking and bragging about how much white they have in them and those stuff like that, and walking around with a white partner, right? You have to be very careful of who you're listening to and what their ulterior motives are. She is clearly living a lifestyle in which she enjoys being in close proximity to whiteness. She brags about how much she has inside of her. She goes out and is partnered with a white woman, you know, and I'm noticing a pattern that a lot of people who are part of the LGBTQ, and I'm not saying all, right? A lot of them who are partnered with people of other races tend to want to separate themselves from Black people as a whole. And you have to be very careful about who you listen to. Yeah. And what is, I can't listen to a Black man who goes home and lays up with some white man and then wants to say that he's, you know, wants to tell us what Black people are supposed to do, because he doesn't share those same interests.
Right. And if I could, I'm just going to veggie back on that. I'm going to say veggie back rather than piggyback, because I don't eat swine flu. But I remember I was at the gym, and many of you all know who follow my channel. I'm all about Body by Lumumba, right? And there was a brother in the gym who actually is my trainer. He's bigger than me, stronger. And someone said, well, who's the stronger between the two? And I said, me. He goes home to a white woman every day. There's no way you could be a strong Black man, because he has to shrink himself every time he enters the door. They're like, I mean, you're a wild boy. How could you say that? I said, because it's true. Right. And so I know Hakiar Matabuti, when I had the chance to have an audience with him, we know Hakiar Matabuti is one of the progenitors of Third World Press, one of the earliest African-American publishing companies in America. He told me, before you go off, you follow what anyone says, first look at what they do. And so I would argue that oftentimes people wanting to interracially date is rooted in escapism. They're trying to escape anti-Black racism by having some type of proximity to whiteness. Right. So I think we have to be aware of that. Another thing that I find to be extremely problematic is this concept and idea of, I see these individuals who are, of course, articulating the FBA, ADOS type of mantra, and they're going around stating that they're B1, Black first, but then they always talk about how they mix with something else. And so I had a conversation, but I said, if you're so Black first, so B1, so always bet on Black, I mean, you were Wesley Snipes and Passenger 57, you know what I mean? Then why is it you all are always running around talking about what you're mixed with? It doesn't make sense to me. Right. So I would have to agree with you, but I do think it is a form of escapism because, you know, instead of fighting anti-Black racism, they want to, of course, interracially date, or even maybe oftentimes have interracial children as a way of trying to escape, of course, the insidious tentacles of anti-Blackness in America.
Let me add something to that. They love to say that you can't help who you fall in love with, right? That's the biggest lie I've ever heard.
Yes,
because
that's
love is an action word, not a feeling. So when you put your time and effort and spend with the people other than like yourself, then you made that decision and choice. Because love is action every day.
Right. And who you love, who you marry is a reflection of your values. And I've had someone tell me that before. And I said, really? I said, well, I never fell in love with my sister. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, really, if you can't help who you fall in love with, you know what I mean? Like, why didn't you fall in love? I said, well, if you can't help who you fall in love with, why didn't you fall in love with a man? He said, but I'm not gay. Exactly. So you can't help who you fall in love with.
Exactly.
And
you can't run that Jedi mind trick on me.
One second, then I'm gonna pass it to Bree. Lumumba, can you answer this question? Can you answer my cultural question? I would love your input on that. Did you read his cultural question?
No, I don't know what the question is.
The cultural question was, if Igbos could be Igbo, a specific ethnic group and different from Airways, why can't ADOS have their own culture and be specifically, you know, different from Africans?
That's a great question. I'm so glad that they asked. So a couple issues. One, yes, African Americans are an ethnic group of African people, just like Afro-Jamaicans, Haitians, etc., are ethnic groups of African people from a purely anthropological standpoint. The second issue is that when we hear this type of narrative, it's rooted in what? A process of self-abnegation in which one is trying to turn away from the African identity, African cultural heritage, so on and so forth. The reality of the situation is I have a litany of books on African cultural attention and African American culture behind me. Is African American culture is based on what? An amalgamation of West African and Central African cultures. So you can't escape it in any way you want. Yes, we can argue that we have our own identity. It's rooted in African culture, an amalgamation of African culture that, of course, has coalesced with what? Western American culture. But the basis of African American culture is what? African culture. So I think that's what we have to acknowledge. And unfortunately, when we tend to find individuals saying we have our own culture, they're trying to make it as if it's a standalone. And I'm gonna use a rather pop culture example of that would be like someone saying that Law and Order SVU is a standalone rather than a derivative of Law and Order, right? And so African American culture is a derivative of African culture. It's not a standalone of African culture. And I hope that answers the question.
Go ahead, Bree. I know you have something.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me pass it, Bree. Go ahead, Bree. You gotta unmute yourself, Bree.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having this open discussion. Thank you, gentlemen, for your words. And I didn't want to just blog off and phase out to black without saying I appreciate everybody on this panel.
I appreciate you coming on.
Have a good night.
Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button again. If you're watching this, please hit that like button. All right, go ahead, Connie or Alan. I think going to say
okay, yeah. So my question is to Brother Nulumba and anyone else who wants to respond. So I see there are more, okay, there's some countries in Africa who at the moment are more receptive than others, you know. And I've watched a lot of videos and a lot of content of African Americans in Ghana and different places in Africa. So, well, in my own opinion, I don't think you guys are that organized.
What's the question, brother?
Sorry, I'm sorry to say.
What's the question?
Yeah, this is my question. To make the best out of the whole would I say, permit me to say, exodus. To make the best out of it, I don't think you guys are that organized. I would like to ask if it was possible you guys could get a lot more organized such that you can demand something from any government that is, willing and receptive. Okay, this is what we want from our people.
I still don't understand. I still don't hear a question, brother. It sounds like a comment. It sounds like lecture and answer rather than question and answer.
Okay, it's more like a response. Like I want to get your response, from my comment, right? I'm like, why don't you guys kind of be organized such that you can demand something from these governments? Because I understand. I'm just speaking from my own point of view. Like you go to a place and they're asking to bring your money. Permit me to put it that way, and invest and help out. But in the administration, you have little or no input or to get things better. So I'm asking, why isn't it possible for you guys to get a lot more organized and have representative in these countries that are at the moment giving you the reception, and that's going to kind of like ask for your own interest, so you can know how to, bring your people in and, okay, this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to achieve from it. Because I remember the last show I participated in, one of y'all was saying, talking about having your own land or something, your own country, and a lot of other people were like, that's not going to work. That's not going to fly, So see that.
All right, so I got it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're about to go on ad nauseum, right? So let me say a couple of things. One, first off, I think it is extremely intellectually disingenuous and disrespectful to make the assumption that African Americans are not organized, right? I would never speak to anyone anywhere, and I'm an outsider, and tell them what they are not doing. That's extremely disrespectful, number one. Number two is African American people, we are organized, right? We have a number of different lobbyist groups, super PACs that not only advocate for African Americans here in America, but advocate for African people throughout the world. That's number two. Number three, there have been a number of initiatives and organizations and movements throughout the history of African people in America, and we have delineated and demanded the very thing that you are asking, that you've talked about. And I know Brother Brandon, Pan-African Strikes Back, can speak to that. Brother Dynast can speak to that. Brother Wisdom Never Sleeps can speak to that. So I think you're speaking from a position of ignorance, brother, in all due respect.
Okay. My apologies for sounding that direct. On saying you're not organized, but I happen to have watched a lot of videos.
No, video, but watching videos is not research.
It's not about being direct, and this is one thing a lot of like African people don't grasp. It's the fact. It's not about you just because I'm a direct person. I say a lot of things directly, but when I speak, I don't do what you did with speak out of total ignorance. Then speak of organization of people when you can't even organize your thoughts. Lumumba speaks just ask you to ask your question directly, and you fumbling and babbling and dragging your tongue across the ground like an anteater. If you don't, I mean, like, don't try to ask something until you look into it in depth. That's the problem. You're trying to ask something that you truly don't understand. Now, if you say you don't understand, say,
Brandon, there's like an echo on your end. Hold on one second, Connie. Brandon, there's like an echo on your end. Like it's not coming through. Transmission's not coming in smooth and clear.
Can I speak? Can I speak to that a little bit?
Like before I say organized, it's because I perceive that because I watch a lot of videos, and unfortunately, you didn't allow me, complete my sentence.
Well, brother,
the issue is that when you watch videos, okay, it's like any other form of media.
You don't still want me to complete my sentence, but it's okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No,
Go ahead.
only thing I was going to say is that when you watch videos, what you're watching is, the media amplifies certain things, right? So, if I sat down and I watched videos and that was the only thing I knew about people going to Africa, I would come away with the same impression you came away with. Because, when you have that one fat girl on there talking about they don't have any snacks and electricity and, oh, Lord, or they might have had to go save her and all this other stuff like that. When you see these people out here, marrying people and then dropping the person and getting into fights if you watch that chaos, you're going to come away with that impression. So I understand exactly where you get that impression because more than likely me and you have watched the same videos. The issue, the thing is that there are people who are organized, man. There are organizations that are sending people, and those people are meeting more success. And and since they don't have any dysfunction along with them, they're not being amplified and put out there because there are people with interests who want to amplify the foolishness to dissuade a bunch of us from actually going or even visiting.
Anyway,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I want to disagree with you guys, right? But you see, most of the time, even here in Dyna's channel, most of the conversations end with arguments, quarrel, different opinions, and I understand we're all different people, and I understand maybe I would say this is something like permit me to say new. A lot of African Americans are just desiring for the first time to come to Africa. But like I said, I'm sorry for if you feel that way, but this is how I feel like
I understand that feelings and perceptions are not reality.
can you guys hear me clear now?
It's still not clear, Brandon. It's like you're echoing. There's like a TV in the background. You got a lot going on, Brandon.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's how the sites don't sound direct anymore. But what I've been seeing, especially like you guys, I would agree that what I watch from YouTube might not be all and all of it, but this is what I've seen. I see a lot of individual people doing individual things. Some people moved in and moved out.
Brother, we've already gone through this. Brother Allen gave a great soliloquy on the fact that these things are not reflective of reality. So why are we going back and talking about what you've seen when it's not? That's like me saying, hey, I watch, so that's all I watch. That's how people act. Listen, we know that this isn't real. So why don't we still harping on something that we all can agree is not reflective of reality? We got to move past that.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Well, the only other thing I want to add is that, you need to remember when people are organized and they're doing things the right way, yes, there are people, it will get views, but that's not the content that gets the most views, right? People like train wrecks, right? And that adds into the algorithm, and that becomes more of what you end up seeing. So, you always have to keep that in mind. Yes, what you're seeing is real in terms of those people who are foolish and going and losing everything in Ghana and all kinds of stuff like that. But that is not the complete story and the complete picture. And
Right.
I would encourage you to go online on the web and look at some of the people who are using organizations and things like that to find out that there are people who are actually organized and doing things. There are people on YouTube who are organized and doing things, man. Like Bag and all these people. They're doing some things that are actually organized and well and have stayed long term. The thing is that like any place else, Africa will eat you alive if you go over there with no plan and you're trying to get a job, and you're trying to live an American lifestyle. It'll eat you alive, just like any place else in the world. And that's what you're seeing repeatedly. And that's not reflective of what everybody is doing.
Right. And then the second issue, you spoke to this concept and idea. If you came on Dinah's show a couple of times, numerous times, as you stated, and you see people being opinionated, they don't agree. But this is a political conversation. When you watch CNN, the different individuals who are providing commentary, they don't agree. The individuals on MSNBC don't agree. That's what you do when you have these type of shows. You don't bring people on always to agree. You bring people on to have diversity of thought and share different ideas and concepts and have a robust, intellectually stimulating conversation. Would you agree with that, Brother Dynas?
Okay. So my next question
I agree.
But like you guys have stated that you come over to Africa and you see a lot of other races, Chinese, Indians, and all, right? I don't know if you guys have answers to this, but there are industries that are popping right now. For example, we all know everyone listening to African music now and African movies. And unfortunately, these same white companies, the bulk of the money still go to these white big record labels and all. And then for the Nollywood movies, I don't really have much knowledge about that, right? But for the music, I know these big white companies still, make the money. So what are you guys doing as an African Americans to actually have a part of this, will I say, success from Africa, to also be a part of the success and not allow all the revenue going back to these same people?
Brandon, there, you wanna answer that, Brandon? You get your sound together. Now go ahead, Brother Lumumba.
Could you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll make it faster and direct. Okay, for example, the Afrobeats right now, the whole world is paying attention to at the moment. There's a lot of revenue being generated, and as a Nigerian, I see these white people. In Nigeria, I call them Oyibo people, right? Oyibo people coming in with different record labels and different companies.
Okay.
And the bulk of the money is still going back to these Oyibo people, right?
Okay.
So what are Black Americans doing? Yeah, I know, like there are other industries.
Just ask the question. Don't tell me what you know. Just ask the question. You said, what are African Americans doing to what?
To make sure that the money is not going back to these, or all of it is not going back to the same white people. I'm asking this because, from Africa, we look at Black Americans and we watch Tupac, we watch all these things. This is an industry heavily represented by African Americans, right? So what are you guys doing to also be a part, to also take ownership or a market
ownership
share
of what?
of the industry?
What industry?
Oh, guy, come on.
No, I'm
Can someone
asking.
else explain to him, Dynas, please? Because like
You're speaking of the music industry.
Yeah, well, he wants to know what are Black Americans doing here in America to, I guess, benefit off of the Afrobeat, I guess, popularity that's going on right now across the globe. Instead of white record labels benefiting from it, what are Black Americans doing to capitalize
So
on
let
that?
me ask the question, and I think I typically don't answer a question by asking a question, but I need to get some more context. Afrobeat is a genre of music that is being created and disseminated by whom?
it's created by Black people, but the revenue right now at the moment
Black
is
people
still
who
in the
where?
hands
What part of the
of
world are they in?
Africa. Africa, you know what I mean? Come on.
Okay, in Africa. Okay, so
But
they're
the
the ones who
revenue
will
at
be
the moment,
responsible for controlling what? The
the
residuals and the
revenue.
masters and so on and so
Stop
forth.
asking questions. You know what I'm talking about, right? The revenue at the moment is still being controlled by these white companies.
Right,
Ask me
right. So it's
questions,
being
not
controlled by
history.
the global north. So that's the issue that the people who are making the music need to address. Not me. If I write a book and I don't receive the royalties from the book, the sales of the book, I'm not going to ask you in Nigeria to solve that problem. That's something I got to handle.
Okay. So what? So you guys just want to come to Africa, like, and don't be a part of any
Once
industry?
again, you're
Is
speaking
that
about
what
African
you?
Americans
Is
like
that
we
what
are
you're
a broad,
saying?
monolithic group. That is extremely
Right?
disrespectful.
Oh my.
That is you guys, and you can't speak about 45 million people like they're one person.
Well. Here's the deal. Okay, when it comes to the record industry, you guys actually have more control over your, art than even African American artists do. I think you perceive that we have a control over the record industry that we just don't have, and I think that's where your error is. The control is not there. Our artists can't even are getting 360 deals and all kinds of stuff, and getting jerked on contracts and stuff like that. Don't fall for this type where we have a few people who stand out front and act as if they own everything, when in fact they don't. And I think that's an image problem that we project that we're in charge of an industry that we're not in charge of. So
Yeah, because I'm
as
saying,
brother Lumumba said, that's on you guys to go ahead and figure out how to get better deals and do better than our artists, because our artists has not had the success in mastering the record industry, which is the dirtiest industry and one of the dirtiest industries in the world. We have not had that success, brother. I'm just telling you. That is not the case.
because there are lots of, like, in industries, like in Nigeria, for example, you can say, okay, in mining, Chinese, manufacturing, Indians. So, like, I'm just looking like it's gonna be more of a better success, permit me to put it that way, if African Americans come to Africa and actually hold down an industry, at least one industry, and be competitive like the other races, Chinese and Lebanese and whoever, all the other foreigners coming as well, and not be just all about tourism. I'm just saying. So I don't know if you guys have actually thought about this or discussed this. I don't know plans that you have, but I'm just saying, especially for the long-term point of view, perspective. So that's it.
Once again, you're making assumptions that African Americans are going to Africa just to engage in tourism. I know a number of African Americans, contemporarily and even historically, that have focused on developing and controlling industry in Africa.
Developing what? Sorry, repeat.
Who are focused on developing and controlling industry on the continent in unison with our African brothers and sisters. So once again, you're making these broad, monolithic characterizations of African Americans, and I take umbrage with that because that's not something I do with anyone. In fact, one of the brothers who engages in this type of work His YouTube channel is entitled, and I hope you don't mind me giving a shout out, Brother Dynast, but it's
no problem. Go ahead. No problem. Go ahead.
Obstacles to Opportunities, right? And he actually built a factory in, I believe, Kenya, right? Producing materials. So once again, like you're just making these broad generalizations, brother. And I just find it to be extremely problematic and disrespectful.
But it's, again, these generalizations are coming from someplace, and they're coming from what is promoted. The channel you named, I got to go look up now, right? Because I was unaware of the channel. I might have seen a video or two, but
Sean has been on here a number of times.
Yeah, I like I said, I might have seen a video or two, but I haven't watched the channel. The point I'm trying to make is when those algorithms go out there and they pick up stuff, you're seeing Art Cathy, you're seeing you're seeing different people. I don't want to disparage anybody, but I'm saying that you're seeing a different type of person that gets popularized and put out there, and then these images beamed across the world are put out there, and this is the perceptions. That what this brother is giving us is the perception,
right? That
comes back as a result of that.
And I apologize. I'm just, for some reason, extremely frustrated tonight, right? But just to make the argument, when you talk about Afrobeats and not being in control or receive the fruit of their labor, that's a job for someone who's a lawyer, particularly an entertainment lawyer, to be able to go into court and make those arguments. I'm not an attorney. I'm an educator by training. But
it's not a case of going to court or something.
Yeah, yes, it is. You got to go to court.
It's putting the infrastructure. Listen, it's putting the infrastructure in place, the technology in place, right, to be able to directly earn from the streaming money, right? Because we still need to go back to these companies. These white companies, white-owned companies. Register with them to be able to have access, even in the first place, to even get.
And if you register, that means you have a contract.
So it's not a thing of going to court or lawyer.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you have to register,
it's a case of having the infrastructure.
I understand that we can have our own platform, but also if you register something in writing with a entity, organization, business, that is a contract that is legally enforceable. If you want to change that, you're going to have to go to court. That is a reality.
I don't think that's the problem right now at that moment. The moment, I think, is more of, because if we want to actually discuss about Black empowerment, right, then we should be able to position ourselves and say, okay, this is truly Black, and we are benefiting from the revenues directly, all the revenues, like it's going around through Black people and not some white people, because we see a lot of them trooping into Nigeria, for example, right? And they have some of them, they don't even come with sign record label deals, they sign distribution deals, right? And we from this part of the world, we of course want to reach more people, and we're left with no choice, because there's no better option that's going to get the job done.
Now, you do realize that everything you just said is the exact same issues that the same African Americans you said should go over and help with the Afrobeat situation. It's the exact same issues that are happening with our Black artists here. It's no different.
Okay. Well, anyway, I understand.
Anyway, you need to acknowledge that what the man said is true. Don't just blow past that like you're a woman on.
But why didn't you just allow me? You also need to be respectful, right? Because I've been quiet. You speak for. You keep speaking disrespectfully. Okay.
I always cut people off. That's what I do.
Why didn't you allow me finish my sentence? And then when I finish my
sentence,
I was going to say,
cool.
Hold on, one mic. Connie, go ahead. Then I got to pass the Q Butter, and after Q Butter is going to be the break.
No, let me go before Q Butter, man. Q Butter be talking a lot.
Go ahead, Connie.
I was going to say that Black people, we should position ourselves. Maybe I'm speaking about the future, right? But we should be able to be definitive and, okay, this is where we want to go. and be able in the whole supply chain in every industry in the industries that pertain to us, be able to reap and benefit from every part of it in general. That's my point. I'm not saying like everyone. I understand no industry is perfect, no country is perfect, no group, no tribe is perfect. But I'm just saying this is something we would love to see. Okay, the money remains in the house. That's all I'm talking about. All right.
Yeah, yes, sir. We completely understand. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your contribution. Q Butter, go ahead, Q Butter.
It was good, Black family. I'll be quick because I know Pan African Strike Back Chunky Ass will get his response. And no, he's in the chat like, no, I gotta shoot back. But now, I honestly, I shout out to.
If you take off that hat right now, I donate $100 to Zayex. Oh, look at that hairline, boy! That was worth $100. I got you. I'm gonna hit the cash out now. Wait, face the camera. You didn't face the camera, bruh. Your hairline is running away from your eyebrows. Now go ahead and finish.
I guarantee every outfit he got is elastic. Everything he got is stretch fit.
That's the funniest joke you ever said. I literally laughed.
But now I know y'all was going back and forth. I just wanted to shout out Dynast. I love the bills and stuff, like connecting the black folks together and stuff. And I was going to talk about the argument of Africa ain't reach out to us. I think it's kind of like localized and depends on your relationship with people. Because I get reached out all the time by people on the continent to link up. Dynast should be the ultimate inspiration. He's from America, bro. Like, look what he did. Pan African Strike Backs. I'm kind of confused, and I'm sure they will all tell you, like, as soon as you even include yourself in a conversation, you're gonna get invited. Like, it is kind of backwards to me, that conversation. Now, and these people present it to me, I'm like, you should read a little bit more of your history and understand some of the nuances in the argument and some of the underlying prejudice that we all have. It's just no difference in the East Coast, West Coast, North versus South, Africa and Caribbean and Africa, Jamaicans and Trinidadians, Haitians and freaking Dominicans. Like, we can play the nuance game all we want, but if we Pan-Africans, we got to look past that and say, like, how are we going to build? And I just appreciate Brother Dynast. I shout him up all the time. I'm going to do another video shouting at his platform and stuff, like connect.
Thank you, brother. Go ahead, Brandon.
Real quick. I mean, yeah, you shout out Brother Dynast, but just remember, he never won a natty while he was on the field.
Oh my God.
That was low. That was the same. Wait. That was the same shit. That's the same shit Shannon Sharp did to. Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharp the other day when he was going on about Tom Brady and shit. You mad because he got 5 championships? You can't do that. Personal performance is not an indicator of greatness when it comes to organization. But and Lamu know that, right? Because his team ain't never won shit neither, and he never was on the field for him. But
both those things are not true. Both those things are not true.
I'm just messing with you. I'm sure you was out there beasting on the gridiron. No, but the whole thing with the brother Connie, I'm not going at the listen. Me, I got smoke for everybody. I come at everybody equally, right? I go at Black Americans who don't come correct, who aren't abreast to what's going on when it comes to our people, and when they come in with observations, you know what I'm saying? And I come at Africans who do the same thing. And the issue here is not even Brother Connie what he said. The issue is that who he's saying it to. This is the channel that got a bunch of dudes who's doing the stuff you're talking about. So when you come at us, or when you make an observation concerning us, concerning our group that's over here, you have to acknowledge that we are doing that. So the question then becomes not, why aren't you guys organizing? It's like, brother, why are you so far behind that you don't see the organization? And the second question is, why aren't you? Because, I got the OAP, Dynast got the DOMFO, he got the resource with the travel agency, the tours, the citizenship. I got the land in Kenya. You know what I'm saying? We working on the farm out there, and Bag Family got their thing going on. A lot of brothers, Happy Companion in Gambia got his thing going on. It's no longer a matter of like when, right? Because we're already doing it, and why we're not doing it. This is the next phase of Pan-Africanism. Brothers like Dr. Amos Wilson, Marcus Garvey, all these brothers who are Pan-Africanists, proud Pan-Africanists, they have already talked enough. They did all the talking we need to do. This is the second coming, and this is the generation of Pan Africanism that's all about action. So when people talk about organizing and all that, organization really is no longer necessary because we've come to understand that the centralizing of any movement is certain death. So we have to operate like the white man did. The white man didn't take the Indians' land by saying, hey, let's form an army and go out and eradicate every tribe in the Americas and take their land. The white man did the best thing you could do. He said, look, you people over here, you got a right to this land. Now take this stick with this orange flag on it, and you see all that land out there? Wherever you stick your stick, that's yours, and it's your responsibility to defend it. And guess what them pioneers did, them settlers did? They went out into the wilderness, the unknown. You know what they did? They carved them out a tiny little square called a farm. They got them a couple of shotguns. They boned their wife and had sons, and sons, so they could have soldiers in house who will help them defend against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. And they tamed this country doing that. There's nothing more powerful. No organization will ever be more powerful than one man's concept or idea or belief in something being his destiny. That will trump everything. And if you get a group of people who believe something is their destiny, they will work together without even thinking about it, unconsciously, unknowingly work together because they all have the same goal. You don't tell somebody, hey, look, you don't go sit up and be like, look, man, we're going to go out here and we're going to go into the city and ask dudes, we're going to find the best football players in the nation. No, they have colleges that bring the best football players in the nation. So all the NFL got to do is go to the colleges and pick from the best. And you know why those guys are the best? They're not the best because some coach said you need to be the best. They didn't get no pep talk from some white guy motivating them or even some black guy, this and this and that. No, they all had a very strong desire to do one thing. And guess what they do in the NFL? Everybody's a pro. Dynas will tell you that. Lumumba tell you everybody's a pro. Why do they show up and work together to get that shit? Because they all want some money. And they all understand that winning that championship gives them access to even more money. They don't have to be in agreement on everything. They don't even got to be organized. All you got to do is walk up and say, look, you going to run a fade, you going to run a curl, you going to run a slant, you going to throw the ball, you going to protect him so nobody tackle him before he throw the ball. And if he hand the ball off to you, you going to run the ball. That's all. That's football in a nutshell. What makes it professional and excellent and the best display of football skills in the world is the fact that everybody, though they are individuals, egotistical, self-centered, and just ridiculous, they all have the same goal, making that money. And that's what's going to help Black Americans. Not this, why don't you guys organize? See, because the thing is, Africans, they're not even organized. Why? Because they're not organized because they understand that the one thing that Africans really have right is, at the end of the day, each man tried to reach his destiny. His goal is the most powerful engine imaginable. That's why in 60 years or a little bit over 60 years, you guys have been able to get to where you are with really no ability to go conquer, invade, dominate somebody and take their resources. And Africa is on the upward trajectory. And guess what? Guess what's driving Africa? People power and people's belief in themselves. Guess what's going to drive African America and help and give Africans in America the chance to survive? Our ability in ourselves as individuals and our realization that the collective is needed to secure the individual as he pursues his endeavors. And that's it. But just come correct. Make sure you know you're aware of who you're talking to, and your question is not wrong. It's good to ask these kind of questions, but just make sure when you do it, you're not tripping and stumbling over your own thoughts and your tongue. Just come at us direct, bro. Like with the respect that's warranted, and we'll do the same to you for sure.
Connie, you want to respond? All right. Ezone, go ahead.
I agree with everything you've said, like especially
Connie,
when you said
where in Nigeria are you from?
I'm from River State, Port Harcourt, same place with Burna Boy.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, go ahead.
Like you know, have you ever been there, Dynas?
No, I just been to Oshun, Ogun, Oyo, Lagos, and Abuja.
Okay. Well, south, like in the south. So I agree with everything you said, Pan-Africanism. Like especially when you talked about the little we've achieved so far the fact that it's an individual effort, 100%, so I agree. Yeah, no doubt, nothing, no contrary comments. Yeah.
IE Zone, go ahead, bro. Then after you, we're gonna close out. You gotta mute yourself.
Yeah, Dennis, thanks for having me on, man.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was listening to my Nigerian brother over there trying to ask a question, and I think he phrased the question incorrectly. What my interpretation of what he was trying to say was, in terms of collaboration, he's using Afrobeats as an example. So he's trying to say, hey, this thing is picking up around the world. You have it going global. It's music. African Americans have learned from not owning, their own music rights. How come we're not collaborating to make this thing bigger and do it better instead of white folks seeing the opportunity and trying to make something? But I think, Brandon made a point about individuals going out there.
We lost you, bro. Hello.
Get back in there, bro. You was tearing it up.
Yeah, we lost him.
Hello, you there?
We hear you now. We hear you now. Go ahead. All right, we lost you again. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, go ahead.
Yeah. How beautiful would it be if we can kick away the Chinese, kick away kick away the Indians, and really own these industries? Because I believe, not just the African Americans, but Black people around the world, including Africans as well in the diaspora. There are lots of talents, there are lots of educated people, and around the world, Black people who have something good to offer. Why don't we all come together in collaboration? And whatsoever is good about Africa, kick these white people out.
Hey, Connie, Connie, you know what the thing is with what you're doing, right? So, like I talked about the phases of Pan-Africanism. What people got to understand is that Pan-Africanism is in a new phase. Phase one was we need to. This is the second phase where you don't come and say, why don't we do it? You take it on yourself to create it. And what you create, it ain't got to have 1 million people. It can have 10 people. It can have 20 people, 5 people. But when people ask that same question you're asking right now, you'll be able to say, look, I've actually created something. Be a trustworthy individual who's not stealing and trying to scam. And guess what? We have answered that question. Why don't we? Why can't we? We can, we will, and we are currently already doing that. Because here's the reality. You're in Nigeria. You have a unique opportunity to bring us together. You know why? Because just like I did with
I'm in Paris. Okay.
But look, okay, but you're from Nigeria. So what I'm saying is, listen, just like I said earlier about individual desires, right? Their belief. You have a lot of Black Americans and Black people all over the globe who believe that Africa is their home. They believe that they are entitled to have ownership of Africa. That's the belief, and it's strong. Now all you have to do is give them the opportunity to exercise their beliefs, right? So if you created something like what I did, OAP, okay, you don't really even have to recruit people to that. All you got to do is say, look, I got access to this. I have it. If you want it, come get it. And people are going to come. Go watch the movie Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. That's what we know now. Pan-Africanism is not something that's stuck in time like civil rights. Pan-Africanism is something that is progressive. It moves. It's alive. It's moving. So we don't have to ask why and talk about what we need to do and preach. What we need to do is say, we need to get up here and say, I have created this. for you and for in this thing you wanted, I have made it available to you. Come and get it. So that's really, and not coming down on you because I agree with what you're saying. But the thing is, we have to be men now and step up and start doing that shit. We have technology, we have mobility, planes, automobiles, trains, we have money. Now it's no longer we need to. Now we have the ability to do it and we do it ourselves. Even in history, when you didn't have countries, you had small warlords who ruled over small areas who were controlling that area. That's where we warlords now. We got to just carve out our little space and then align from a place of power. Come together based on that.
Okay.
Like
Go
y'all know. Like, go ahead. Dynast.
No. Go ahead. Then we'll pass the royal image and we'll close out. Go ahead.
Okay. Like, you all know, like, Nigerians travel a lot. Well, in almost every country, right? So this is part of the strategy, right? What we're talking about right now. Okay, there's no much money in the continent, so we're going out there, get the money, and bring it back home. Like, it may be a long-term strategy, but this is what we're doing because there has to be money, and there has to be money on the table, right? And this is what we've been doing all this while. No, in response to, okay, what are you doing? What are you putting in place? I'm just telling you, for Nigerians, I know I can say we're going out there, getting the best educations. For me, I have 5 degrees, 5 university degrees, right? We're getting the best career, and then we're experts, right? And then we're bringing this money back home. Everything is not going to happen in one day, but this is what we're doing. And as much as we're putting the effort and doing what we're doing, we would love to also, I know every other Black people doing their own shit, but we also would love to see other Black people consciously, okay, this is the structure, this is what I'm doing, and this is where we want to get to. That's where this is coming from.
Hey, Dynast, can I ask him a quick question real fast? It's not going to take time.
Go ahead.
Okay, Connie, let me ask you a question about Nigeria. You got many Nigerians here around the world who got these great degrees. And one thing we all know is degrees cost money, multiple thousands of dollars. If you got 5 degrees, that means you spent over $100,000 on education. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
Okay. Now imagine this. Imagine if all the Nigerians who go to these different countries and go to med school and go to engineering school and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars simply took those hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've acquired through loans, right? Because rarely, I don't think they have $100,000 to just spend. And they just took that money and instead of giving it to the white man and then trying to pull something out of their ass to give to to Nigeria, what if they just got those loans, got that money, and immediately invested that shit back into Nigeria without no middleman? Nigeria will be the number one of the top 10 economic powerhouses of the world right now, right or wrong.
So now this is it, right? Yeah, you're right. We spend a lot of money, but I'm a software engineer, right? I make a lot more than that, right? So I spend the money, but I've made so much, and I'm not ready to leave now, right? I want to travel. I want to be an expert in other parts of the world as well. Make enough money, and then know what we're going to do with the money back home.
See what you said. You said I'm not ready. I'm not ready, right? So you got wait. Let me say this to you.
Listen. Go ahead.
Yes, the opportunities are there where you are, but when you got the opportunity and you made the initial money, you still gonna have to pay them white folks for the rest of your life, damn near, money that you could be invested into the continent. I mean, I'm just saying.
You're getting it wrong, right? Like,
okay.
we get this degrees, get this education so we could make money. You don't expect we just start making the money and then we just let everything go. No, I told you there are just so many of us. We're over 200 million people, right? So everyone is not going to be out there, but someone has to bring the money to the table. right?
Y'all got the money, but when y'all got the money, y'all gave it to white folks first. Y'all was like, I'm gonna get this thing that the white man said I need to have. The thing is, the white man doesn't determine what you need to have in Africa.
What you're just doing right now is hasty generalization. Honestly,
No, I'm
that's
asking a question. I'm just asking a question.
If you go on Google and type remittances home, how much Nigerians send home, it's running into $30 billion every year. You know, this is true. Not what's the English now? Not true. Recorded. Recorded means
But how do China listen? But the one thing you notice is Chinese people don't go get European. Wait. Let me say this. Chinese people don't get UK degrees to go run shit in China. They get Chinese degrees. Japanese people get Japanese degrees. What?
Hey, bro.
You guys got the schools. You guys got the schools.
Can I say something? Let me say something right now. You guys just making a whole bunch.
Well, we're coming to get their money. We're coming to get your money, right? We're not just coming for your school, right? Let me tell you something. A lot of Nigerians who want to migrate already have degrees, already have bachelors. Some of them already have masters. The ones who even have PhDs still want to go out there. So they're not coming out there just to get more degrees. They're coming for your money. That's it.
Can I come
go
in?
ahead, brother? Go ahead, Royal Image. You want to close out? Go ahead, Royal Image.
Yeah, the mindset of the African is messed up. Right? I'm African, so just to let everybody know, I'm Ghanaian. The African mind is really messed up. There's nothing the African is proud of, right? So we want to be everything else and do everything else except be what we are. Everybody knows this, right? So like that gentleman was saying, everybody leaves with a degree, we leave with the money and this because the school is not educating the people that you are good, your land is good, everything around you is good, right? The education is taught to you that there's nothing here for you, right? And then the church is saying,
for Ghanaians, right? I mean, maybe you should speak
no.
for Ghanaians.
Okay.
I'm telling you, we're
Hold on. My bad.
We're going out there, we're making.
I'm wrong. Okay, hold on.
Money, and we're sending it back home.
Every
so
African
speak for yourself, bro.
Outside...
I don't see myself as
okay.
I like someone who don't love the Africa
all right.
love my country.
My bad. Let me apologize.
It's gonna happen.
My bad. Everybody sends money home. Every African sends money home. Let me speak for Ghana. But I know every African that's outside sends money home. Everybody does that. It's not just Nigerians. Right? Ghanaians send billions.
Then what's your point?
My point is, don't get offended. I'm just saying Africans have a shitty mentality because we are taught.
Speak for yourself. Don't generalize. Don't say all Africans. Say Ghanaians.
It's a fact. Our education system is not designed by. Okay, what I
say Ghanaians.
Again, I just wanted everybody to understand.
Don't
I'm African. Okay, and don't bring this Ghanaian Nigerian thing in here. Let's get on the same level. Understand?
Don't generalize. Don't say my mentality is fucked up when you're saying
as I am. As my mind too. I'm African. I'm included. I'm not separating myself.
That's why I say
your mentalities are fucked up. You got on this channel and said I got 5 degrees, but I'm not ready to go yet.
Hold on. Pat, listen. Let me.
I'm an expert.
I don't want. Listen, I'm an expert. I didn't come here to make an argument
right?
to mess.
I'm in Europe right now, and I'll migrate to another continent and make money. You're not going to tell me not to make money. Like I have a plan for my life. Okay,
that's okay. Just hold on. Don't let your emotions get in this. Okay, I didn't say this to upset you. What's
I'm talking about Pan-Africanism. Don't do that.
Kenny, yo, sorry, I'm not trying to upset you. I don't want you to get your emotions involved and seem like I'm coming to it. I'm African. I'm 100%. I don't call myself black and none of that stuff. I'm African, but I just say it as it is. You understand? I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm just saying everything that you said. I'm just using that to make a point. Okay, all of us, including myself, my father, my mother, everybody. I'm not taking you out. I'm not taking myself out. And I'm not going to say things just to make you happy or say something to make myself happy. That's not why we're here. We're here to learn and improve ourselves the best way we can. But the fact is, the African mentality is messed up. Maybe you don't want to hear it, but that's a fact. If it wasn't, then we would be doing everything at home and improving ourselves at home. But we have to leave home to go acquire somebody else's knowledge that's best suited for him, his children and his
Somebody
wife.
else's money, okay? Not
I
just
know,
knowledge,
I
money.
understand. I understand his
All right?
money. I get it.
Yeah, then
Again,
get
I'm not
it right
saying
if you
this.
understand, and make it right if you understand.
Oh man,
right? Don't just
Do
say
you
all
spend more
Africans have.
money in Do you spend more money in Paris or do you spend more money in Nigeria? That's the only question I want you to answer honestly.
See, I already
And
answered your
is your
question,
and
Pan
is,
African.
and is your
I
girlfriend
told
white
you
or black?
travel because listen to me. I
I
told
don't
you I
think we
already
need to
answered
get
you.
into
I
none of
told
that.
you
Yeah,
I
no,
called you to
I
say
know
something.
this dude. I know
No,
this
you
guy has
guys,
a
I
white
called you to say
girlfriend.
something. This is the first time I got to be on this
we
show. I
go
always want
get
to
the
say
money from these
Is your
people, right?
girlfriend white or black, bro? That's what I need you
that
to
don't
ask.
matter. That's not your
Yes, it do.
business, bro. Don't worry about that.
No, because Nigerians go
Nice.
to other
Let me
countries,
say what
marry
I need
white
to
girls,
say so
have little
Dennis can
mixed
shut this
kids,
thing down.
and then talk about they doing everything in Africa.
Listen,
I'm
he
not
has
gonna
his
do
plan.
this for you.
He's working his
It's
plan.
not.
That's
It's not.
okay. There's nothing wrong with his plan.
Nah.
Right? He has his plan. He's working his plan.
What
It's good.
color is his girlfriend? These are qualifying questions.
No, you don't need to know that. That's not your business.
Yes, I
None of your
do.
She's
business.
Nigerian.
Right.
She's Nigerian. All right. You have another question? Is Nigerian. Like, come on, guys. Like we all know there's not enough money in Africa. So why this sentiment?
Can you listen? There's plenty money on the continent. That's why you have foreigners coming to make money over there. For you to say
Then
there's
why
no money there,
facts?
for you
Then
to, you need to
guys
stop jumping
have
in
a
and
problem.
doing that. Stop doing
Then
that. That's
when
very
we
childish.
go out abroad as well to make money, is that you have a problem with that as well? But you don't have a
No,
problem if
listen,
they come and
can you?
make money. But you don't,
I'm
if
not
we
in
go and
Ghana.
make
Eh?
money, is that what
I'm
you're
in
saying?
Canada right now. I'm doing the same thing you're doing. I would like to
Then
be in
what's
Ghana.
your question?
Making, I'm not asking you no. Listen, get your emotions out of this, please.
How is it that when you go to Africa and you book an Airbnb, there's more damn Arabs and Indians with Airbnbs than Africans, and y'all
Oh
talking
man,
about
what are you
ain't no
guys really
money in
talking
Africa?
about right now?
I'm just asking. The dude said there's no money in Africa, but
Yeah,
there's a
but let
lot.
him say what he gotta say. You don't gotta do all of that. You know what I mean?
Can you ask your question,
But can
please,
he?
Real?
I'm not sure if
Real.
I'm saying your name. I'm not asking a question. I'm just trying to make a statement,
Yeah,
right?
make your
But
statement.
I just want you to understand. I'm not attacking you, and I don't want you to get your emotions involved because you sound like I'm upsetting you. I don't want to upset you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to upset anybody. We're just here to learn from each other, to discuss and share some ideas and thoughts, and you know what I mean. So that emotions, please calm it down. I'm not trying to upset you. We're all grown in here, and I think we're here to learn. And Dennis has this thing for us to kind of share our thoughts and ideas. But again, I stand on that fact. We leave the content because we think there's nothing there. That's one,
You
right?
speak for yourself, bro.
Wait, Dinus. Let me ask. Can I ask you a question real quick, Dinus?
Go ahead, bro. Don't say we.
Dinus,
Speak
listen. Africans. This is what Africans say. Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Don't
This is what
say
Africans
we.
say, especially. Okay, Connie, calm down. Listen, Africans say. This is what Africans say. We can't build in Africa because we don't have capital. Dinus. They
Listen.
don't.
Yo,
Wait, hold on,
stop
brother. Hold
doing that.
on.
I'm
I'm
trying to
asking
say
the host a
something.
question. Calm down.
No.
Wait a
Host
minute.
is not trying to say nothing right now.
Wait a minute, bro.
That is not trying to say nothing.
Yeah,
Let
he
me
just
say what
said
I gotta
ask
say.
him a question.
I'm trying to answer the question, Royal Image. Go ahead, Brandon.
Okay, the same black men, African men, who are like, there's no capital. That's why we can't start none in Africa. When they come to European countries and American countries and take out $100,000 worth of loans, Dinus, isn't that capital? Couldn't they take that money and go build an empire in their own country?
They could.
You could do the same thing.
I am.
Question,
So why
bro.
you
You don't know who you're talking to.
Don't worry about the question.
I'm doing it.
And check the records. We're cashing out and sending money back home from our decisions.
No, it's not enough just to send money, create jobs, create industry. That's what I did in Africa.
We're making money and sending it back home. Go to Lagos and see what we're building. Go see the richest black man alive is a Nigerian. He's never lived
So
abroad.
you've invested money in that project when you say, look at what we're building.
Like we go out
Because what you because this is my point. This is my point. People like you talk about what everybody else needs to do. Everybody needs to do, but then you go try to make way for other people to do it. While you go gain the trappings of Europe on your own. So when
The
it's
last time I
we, you are, wait a minute, you asked me a question.
there are more
When
Nigerians
it's
in
we,
Nigeria than
listen,
in
bro.
any other country. All right.
Listen, bro.
The place
Bro.
you find the most Nigerians in the world is
Okay, bro.
Nigeria.
Where's your business?
What's your
Okay,
point?
listen. Let me make you a promise. I'm already $100 on the hook tonight to Q Butter School. If you tell me right now your business that you personally own in Nigeria, I will go to Nigeria and patronize it this year. You tell me what the business is. Show me, pull up the website, something. Give me the phone number so I can call it. Show me. And I guarantee you there isn't one. You just on here babbling about what we need to do. What are you doing?
I just told you what we're doing, right? We're coming to
No,
get
you
your
told me
money.
about some other guy who's the richest guy in Africa. What are you doing? Not we. Say me.
I just told you. You're the one who's looking for citizenship, right?
Just like when you get on top of that white girl every night. It ain't a we thing, it's a me thing. What are you doing personally?
You have a problem. Oh my god. It seems you have a problem with that. Like
that was a joke.
Nigerians taking your woman or something because you emphasizing on the white lady, and I don't know.
No, but I'm coming to take y'all women. Guaranteed.
Hey, bro, guy. You see, right? We're going out there. We're educating ourselves, which is a good thing. Becoming professionals around the world, getting experience and exposure, which is a good thing. And we're taking the money and we're sending it back home. I don't see any problem wrong with that. Anything wrong?
You guys are sending money. You're sending money home. You're sending money home to family members who are wasting your money, buying cell phones and cars and shit like that.
How do you know
Because I know 1,000 Nigerians. I know 1 million Nigerians. They complain about it all the time. That's why. Your family ain't building empires. Your family is buying cell phones.
That's your opinion anyway,
Hey,
right?
Pan-Africanism.
But the thing is, money has to be on the table, right?
You need to check
this
your
is our
emotions too,
decision.
because
I'm not gonna say nothing else, brother. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
So that, like, if you
Hey,
feel we're
Johnson,
wasting money, then that's on you.
I'm
right?
not into that interracial thing, you know. I don't do no mixing. All right, none of that stuff over here. I'm
It's
just
an
saying,
assumption, right? He's just emotional.
there's some things that it doesn't, you know, people don't need to pry into. But I'm not into no mixing, no mixed kids and all of that. Any sensible African black man would never put their child into that foolishness. All right, I'm not into none of that stuff. Just to let you know. All I said is it's not his business to ask who he's dating. All of that doesn't mean I'm into that. I'm not into that. All right. Just wanted to let you know that.
Hey guys, we're gonna close out. Listen,
Yeah,
everyone,
please,
thank you for joining.
close out right now.
Like, share,
All right,
subscribe.
All right, thanks, Dennis. Peace.
No problem. Until next time, family, Dennis, Search for Uhuru. Peace.